Hey everybody, this is Jim McKenna at Facilis Technology with another video snippet for our version 8.1 Smart Access Rules features. Today we're going to be talking about user auditing and create only functionality. So create only is a unique thing, once again, that Facilis has done with Smart Access Rules. It gives us the ability to designate a location, whether it be a whole volume or a folder within a volume or a path or whatever, as not readable, but just you can create media. So like a Dropbox, a physical Dropbox functionality. You put things in there and you can't get them back out again. So we're going to go over that a little bit, but first let's get into sort of the basics of this in case you haven't seen this already. Smart Access Rules is a new feature. It's a set of policies that are applied to volumes that contain rules that are applied to users and groups. So policies are simply sets of rules, and rules are run in order in the policies, and you can decide if you want to have 1 or 10 rules in a policy. It's all based upon how you want to work. I like to have as few rules as possible within the policies and just have lots of policies, so I can just sort of add them to volumes as I need them without having, and I can see right at the top when I look at the policy what it's doing. So rules are applied to users and groups. Policies are applied to volumes. If this seems confusing to you and you're already a Facilis customer, don't worry. Your basic permissions are still there. You don't have to get into this policy stuff at all because you can just put read-write access on a volume to a user or your group, and they have read-write access to the entire volume. So that's the traditional enabled by default volume level access of read-write, read-only, or no access. And then on top of that, we can put Smart Access Rules. And Smart Access Rules start off with more or less a baseline of who you want to have access to full read, write, and delete capability. And then from there, you can sort of remove some of those rules from other users if you want to, and to lock off certain places within the volume that you don't want to have access. We're going to do things a little bit differently in this one, because in this one, I don't want anyone except for a certain group of people to have full access to this volume. And then the only other group I want to have access is going to be a create-only group that's going to just be ingesting to the volume, but won't be able to read anything off the volume. So let's get into that a little bit here. So here's the admin console on the Mac itself, on my Mac Pro, through a browser, getting in to look at the volumes and look at the policies. Obviously, if I'm on a user workstation that doesn't have access to do anything with this volume, I'm probably not going to be opening up the admin console either. But just to show you sort of what we have here on this online volume. So, online volume has two different policies. The first is a baseline, but it's a different baseline than you may have seen before, because this baseline is going to exclude everybody except for a certain group. So I don't want anyone to have full access to this except for the editors group. So the first thing I do is go in and say the group is editors, add them as the principal, root is read, write, delete. That's it. So basically the editors group can mount this volume and do anything they want with it because they're editors, they've signed the NDAs, it's secure, it's fine, and they can get their work done. So getting out of this, going to the next one, the online ingest policy, this is where I set my create only on the ingest folder, only to the stills group. And the stills group is people generating, stills and frames and plates and things like that for the editorial purposes within the online, but they're not, maybe not even employees, like contractors, whatever. They're just kind of ingesting stuff. So the ingest folder itself is create only to them, and I'm also going to audit creating for them. So I can show you some of the auditing details that we have in the system now. We can audit everything from create, read, delete to certain groups, certain places, certain paths, certain volumes. But I'm going to say I'm going to audit creation because that's what we're doing in this particular location for the stills group. And of course that's being saved out to a file on the server, and if you monitor that file with certain notification applications, it'll notify you if a certain thing comes in and it's been ingested. So anyway, that's that. We're going to go and take a look at that. And from the client console, you'll see here the online volume is mounted, and I'm in the Jim user, and Jim is part of the stills group. So I won't be able to do a lot of things on this online volume. If I open this up, you'll see that, hey, it looks like everything's there, except, if I go down to any of these folders here and try and sort of open them up or drop them down, you'll see here that nothing's there. I can try and open these up, they'll turn down, but nothing's nothing's inside the folders. If I open it up, it'll be blank. Looks like I have, a couple MP4s here to try and open. Let me try and open that one up. Nope, can't play that. Can't copy it off to the desktop. Can't do anything. So I have no read capability on any of these files. But I do have write capability into the ingest folder. So let me just go here, open that up. There's nothing in it. So, or at least as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing in it. So I'm going to go to my camera and my camera card and just grab a few files here and drag them over to the ingest location. And bang, and there it is. So they're copy in. So even though I have no way of reading or writing or deleting or doing anything in the rest of this volume, those files will copy into that location. And so the idea behind this is that, and I can create folders in there for organization, for my particular date stamp or whatever it might be, and I can create files, and in about a minute after I create them, they're going to be locked off even to me, even to the creator. Now, if I open this volume anyplace else on the network, such as, if I have another Mac here that's somewhere else, and I go into this online volume, and I go into to take a look at the ingest location, maybe I have the same access level as the person who was just on there. So I've opened this up and see, yep, they're there, but I can't open them. So it won't allow me to open that file. And so that's really what it's meant to do, is keep everyone with the same access level from accessing each other's files. And now what you may do is, on this particular workstation, you might decide that I'm going to dump this camera card off, bring it back to the field with me, put a new camera card in. Maybe I'm another person that comes and sits down. So let's actually try and replicate that in a demo. So my other camera card is going to pop up here, and I'm then going to open that up, and I'm going to check out this ingest and say, oh, there's some files in here already. I wonder if I can open those up. No. So they're not even accessible to me a minute later, and I just made them. So anyone else who sits down at this workstation won't be able to open them up either, or copy them off, or do anything untoward with those files. But once again, I will still be able to take my folder and copy it directly into the ingest location. Oops. Yeah, because I need to actually make that work. And so there it goes. Into the surfer's folder went into the ingest folder, and now that's going to be ready for the editors to be able to access, because they have full access to read, write, delete, create this entire volume. But if this workstation wanted to sort of be used by somebody else who can access the files normally in the editors group, they can do that. And all they'd have to do, and once again, just to show you again, like I can't open this up. In about a minute, I won't be able to open any of these surfer video up. You see these EXR and DPX folders look empty to me. I turned them down, there's nothing there. But if I go into my logins and I just log in as Dan, who's in the editors group, with my password, and I come back over here, and boom, look, all that stuff just came up. Those folders that I thought were empty now have a bunch of stuff in them, and of course, all the things that I just ingested are now available for me to play, available for me to open up and see this beautiful drone footage that I captured of a pond. So this is a bit of an overview of the create-only functionality. It's very unique to what Facilis does. But let's go and see the auditing part of this, because I created a bunch of files here as someone in the ingest or the stills group who can do ingesting but create only to this volume. So I'll go back to my admin console, and I'll go to my stats, and I'll go to audit logs. And there's a bunch of stuff here because I'm auditing more than just that. But if I want to do a quick search on online, there it is. And I can see that, yep, sure, there's all the surfer files that were created. They're all sitting right here. You can see the server name, the name of the desktop user, their IP address, who's logged in. Principal was Jim that was using the system, when those were created. So a lot of information that you can get from the audit logs based upon the auditing that I placed on the volume or on the path or on the user in that location. So just a bit of an overview there. I want to try to keep it short, but there's not a lot of explanation. There's a lot of explanation needed on something like this because once you get your head around what this does, then you can sort of apply it to your workflow. And I hope that helps. And please stay tuned for the next videos I'm going to be doing on more of the fast tracker side of things. But I hope you enjoyed the 8.1 video so far. And please have a great day, and thanks for joining me.